All right, music fans, welcome. The Harmless One back again here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, before I get going here on this video, I'm kind of in the country mode here. If you haven't figured that out yet, you will by the subject matter of this video. This band here, the Wilder Blue, man, is this good. If you like the Eagles, especially prior to Hotel California, this thing is just superb. In fact, what's weird is there's a tune on here called Feelin' the Miles that sounds an awful lot like Fleetwood Mac, which is different from the Eagles, but it shows you where this is musically speaking. It's old school country-ish, but then there are some other things going on here. Just superb music. Even if you don't like country, give this a spin. It's really good. All right. Speaking of really good, Governor Ron DeSantis made the mistake of appearing with Luke Bryan, and all hell is breaking loose on social media as the calls for boycotts on Luke Bryan resonate from the halls of the establishment. This is so stupid and predictable. By the way, Luke Bryan was in Jacksonville, Florida, and he had Governor Ron DeSantis come on stage. Now, I watched the actual footage of DeSantis coming on stage, and the place went crazy. I said to my wife, typically, no matter what politician an entertainer is going to, host at an event of some kind, like a concert, most likely, that politician will most likely earn a smattering of boos and maybe some applause mixed in. This was not the case with Governor Ron DeSantis, who could be the best governor in the United States. Just saying. In any event, the crowd went crazy, and this was supposed to be a fundraiser for victims of Hurricane Ian. Now, what's crazy is the media has taken this story and they've twisted it and made it sound like Luke Bryan was endorsing Ron DeSantis for governor, and how could Luke Bryan share the stage with Ron DeSantis? And people are tweeting out, well, it's time to drop Luke Bryan from my playlist. Really? Really? Because if you're into mainstream country, Luke Bryan is mainstream country. Now, my opinion of Luke Bryan is as follows. Some of his stuff is pretty good, and some of it is just too cliche and too predictable, and it isn't really strong country music. It's not like this here. It's not like the stuff I listened to back in the 90s. I mean, I like the stuff that they're making in West Texas. That's where a lot of the real country is these days. But there are a lot of other, exceptions to that rule. The sad thing is that people will politicize anything. And in the case of Luke Bryan, he was actually just trying to do a good thing. It says here, proceeds from his shows are going toward Florida disaster relief and all those people who were impacted by Hurricane Ian. Luke Bryan had canceled shows in Florida, which were essentially supposed to go off, but because of the hurricane, they were canceled. And then Luke Bryan came back, and lo and behold, this is what he is greeted with. All right. And one of the tweeters who actually was there said DeSantis just walked on stage at Luke Bryan. It's deafening in here. Okay. So for those people, right, who just can't grasp the fact that people like Ron DeSantis, all right, if you watch The View every day, you're not going to be watching this video, number one. And number two, you have a warped sense of reality. Because in the state of Florida, we're paying about $3 a gallon for gas, whereas everybody else is paying like $4. California is something like $6 a gallon. Florida is like $3 and change. All right. It briefly came down to like $2.99 a gallon in some places after the hurricane went through. Typically, prices go up because hurricanes tend to slow production, say, in the Gulf of Mexico, and just demand issues make it so there's not enough supply. So, these folks tend to gouge the prices. That didn't happen after Hurricane Ian. I was here. Now, there wasn't a lot of power in various gas stations in the area. So what happened was people had to wait until, the pumps would work, but there was gas available, and there were tankers down here. There were gas tankers that were ready to offload. I saw one video from Arcadia that got hit really hard, and there were these two African-American gentlemen, and they were saying, I don't care what you say about DeSantis, we're voting for him, and we're Democrats, okay? We're Democrats, and we're voting for Ron DeSantis. I'm tired of people screwing with reality and making it sound like, oh, this guy is the worst. No, he's not. He's the best governor in America because he believes in freedom. He believes in liberty. And I think he likes country music too. So if you're a country music fan, Ron DeSantis might be your guy. He had, the Van Zant brothers do a song for him called Sweet Florida. Kind of blew up the internet, I don't know, back in May or June of this year. I remember talking about that. And for the most part, the song was well received, and Governor DeSantis seemed to get into it. And look, you don't have to like, here's the other punchline here. You don't have to like Ron DeSantis, but to just boycott somebody because they had the governor of the state come up there and they're trying to fundraise for hurricane victims. If you're that petty, then really what you need to do is kind of like maybe, withdraw to the basement, hang out there, and don't bother anybody anymore. Try to like live your life, right? Can people just live their life and leave other people alone? Liberals who were really, big back in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up, and quite a bit younger than I am now, obviously, they used to say things like, hey, live and let live. Can we just all coexist? That really isn't their goal anymore, unfortunately. And it's not all of that group, but a lot of people in that group tend to want you to think like them. And if you don't think like them, then, essentially we're going to boycott you. People are like, well, I'm not going to listen to Luke Bryan anymore. Well, good luck with that, right? Good luck with not listening to Luke Bryan. I'm thinking that Luke Bryan doesn't really need you to listen. I think he's already got enough money. And I think he's still going to be a huge country star. And I know this is crossing the line because he's into politics. Look, the country music community at large is fairly conservative. Hate to break it to everybody. I know this is, groundbreaking new information, but again, if you're listening to country music, your values might be more traditional American than, say, I don't know, what they believe in. Let me pick a country like California. Well, California's not a country. It might as well be. Might as well be. At least the, the western half of the country, on the western side of the mountain range. I know there are some good people in California, and they watch this channel. I mean, there are a lot of people from very strange places that watch this channel, including California. So anyway, I want to thank those people for watching. And I want to remind everyone that you can still live your life and enjoy yourself. And Ron DeSantis is not going to get in your way. He's not, I know. He might get in your way with one particular issue. But you know what? you still have 15 weeks. You still have 15 weeks. Anyway, I'm getting way too political. Check out this one right here. The Wilder Blue, ladies and gentlemen. The Wilder Blue, really great stuff. I just decided to do a little weird thing there with the camera, but keep watching, folks. I need subscribers. I want to thank all the patrons. We just flipped over to a new month. It's always exciting to see what's going to happen in a new month. $1 a month if you want to join over on Patreon. The videos go over to Rumble and Odyssey. Odyssey, there's a membership program over there that you can sign up for, which is pretty cool. But Patreon right here, you can do as little as $1 a month. That seems to be what people can afford these days. And again, want to thank everybody for tuning in. And I will be back soon. And maybe I'll have Governor DeSantis on. You know, maybe he'll come on and we'll talk, and I'll endorse him for governor, and then, you know, I'll get blasted for that, because you know what? You can't support anything that's even a little bit American. You know, you got to continue to support stuff that's alien instead of American.